Get into the what I'm doing, why I do it, and how I'm doing it. Hello there, hey there, hi there. We got a different kind of video for you guys today, a how I do my budget breakdown video, and really all you're gonna need is markers, pencil, ruler, whiteout, a notebook, and then you are going to want to print out a calendar or find a calendar. These are just some calendars that I printed off online. These are the ones that I've used the last few months. Every dollar that I spend that's not a fixed dollar, any flexible spending, where I've got food, shopping, pets, household, miscellaneous, gasoline, those are very variable and they change weekly. I write down what I spend per day and then I work it out. I'm going to show you here February's. So I got out my trusty notebook once February was over, and I wrote down every single one of these charges. I highlighted and sorted out to find out how much I actually spent on these categories. So here's my projected budget, and this is my actual spend. This is how I figure out what I'm going to spend. I'm a gig worker and I have a variable income, so it's very hard for me to budget. I have to have like an ever-growing budget. It has to be ready to change with me. It has to be very adjustable. The way I run my month ahead, I do have a bank account with over $1,600 in it. Every week when I'm paid, I am paid into my bank account that already has the $1,600 in it. Then I make sure to leave $399 of that paycheck, so that way I am replenishing what was spent, and I actually do grow it a little bit. It's actually up over $1,800 now, and it started at $1,600 last year, so it is working quite well. It's a continuing circle, so even though sometimes large payments come out and only the $399 is going in, because we started with the $1,600, if the rent and solar were to come out on the same day, which they normally do, so $775 comes out on like the first of the month, it comes out of the $1,600, and I'm not replenishing it with the $399 until the first Thursday of the month. For here, it was the first of the month. So on the first of the month, I did replenish the $399, but I only replenished $399 and I spent $775. That works because it just is a continuing circle. It's kind of like a set and forget. Once you get it rolling, once you get it going, as long as you leave enough money in there to replenish what you've spent, it will cycle back around. And I actually have 4% cash back on my gas. All of the cash back goes back into this account. I've rounded up each one of these amounts, so the little tidbits that are left over all add up and they roll over. If it all works out correctly, you will have a growing account that's also a month ahead. Then I have my flexible. Flexible is so flexible, it varies so much. That's why I have to work it out this way. Let's see here. In January, looks like my total, I don't have my total spend written on here, but my total earning was $3,269. And my projected budget was $3,170, so that's pretty good. I had leftover money over and above what I thought I would spend. For February, I used the same projected budget, so it was $3,170, but I made $3,604, so I had over and above by quite a bit that month. But because my pay is so variable, that's why my budget needs to be so flexible. Let's get into how I work this out, and let me show you what I do here. I'll show you what you can do to get this going for you. So this is March. So far in March, we've made it 2 weeks. I feel like you can start your budget with just as little as 2 weeks tracking. 2 weeks tracking is going to give you a really good idea, but if you're a variable income like me, more than 2 weeks will be necessary. Eventually, you get a feel for your budget, you get a feel for what's going, and you have those weeks that are total hiccups. Like my first week of this month was only $589, but then this last week was $928, and I have to make it work. So this is what I do to get a hold on it, at least have an idea. And the budget is just a projected plan, just a guideline for me to try to follow. Let me move this stuff out of the way. So I'm going to take the ruler, and as you see this little faint little line on the right here, I like to start with that. All right, very simple. So all I did was make 3 lines this way, 1 line that way. Move this out of the way. And we are going to go fixed monthly. Then I'm going to go full, because this is the full amount. 1/4, 1/4, and 1/5. And that is because I am paid weekly. If you were paid bi-weekly, you would want to do the full amount for your monthly, 1/2 amount for your bi-weekly paycheck, and then your 1/3 amount for those magic months where you get the extra paycheck. So that is what my 5th amount is for my magic month, where I get the 5th paycheck in the month. Start here with my fixed monthly, and I am going to go for fixed categories. Fixed categories are your non-flexible, most important bills that you need to get taken care of first. Anything that's like rent or electricity or your car payment, your insurances, those type of things that are a fixed amount. You know what you're going to be spending on them. You know what they're going to be. You can work those out in advance, and you can get yourself the month ahead on those. Those for me are rent, solar, water, propane, trash, my car payment, my car insurance, my cell phone lines, my Wi-Fi, and my subscriptions. So that is my fixed monthly. Your fixed monthly could look totally different than this. You might have more bills, you might have less bills, you might have a mortgage, you might have an electric bill, you might not have propane, you might have natural gas. Everyone has different bills. You might not have a trash bill. It all depends on what you have is what you are going to want here. Once you get your idea of what you spend on a monthly basis, your monthly fixed, and if there is anything that is bi-monthly fixed or 6-month fixed, you can add it in here, like your car insurance. If you pay your car insurance every 6 months, you can break down that full amount. You can just give a 1/6 amount of that 6 months as a full amount for your monthly, if that makes sense, because it would be a 1-month amount that way. Or if you pay 1 year at a time, you would give 1/12 of that as your full amount for your monthly bill. Now, my car insurance actually does come out monthly right now. I think that I could save money if I could pay it 6 months in advance, but I can't afford that yet. Here's hoping eventually someday I'll be able to do like the prepayment of 6 months on the car insurance, but for now I am paying it monthly. Once you have all of your fixed categories written here, you can decide, or you should know, you can look up what you spend on those per month. And I'm going to put my full amounts. Once you have your full amounts, you're going to grab your calculator and you're going to add that up. $1,595 is what we spend to fully fund the monthly fixed bills. But we get paid weekly, or I get paid weekly. So I'm going to say divide it by 4. $398.75, which I will round up to $399. So I'm going to put $399. And if I had $1,595 divided by 5, I'd have $319. So now that I have that worked out, I would break these down into 1/4 amounts, but I leave them in the bank account, so there's no reason for me to have to do that. I know how much I'm spending on it monthly. I know how much is coming out in a 1 chunk amount, and I know how much I'm replenishing each week. So each week I will leave $399 in that bank account so that I can replenish that $1,595 when amounts start to come out. But my paycheck isn't only $399. We are going to work on the next categories. I'm going to take the ruler. I'm gonna put it a little bit to the right, not really centered, off to the right a little bit, because I'm trying to center the page between here and here. Something like that. It does not matter. You do not need to be precise with any of these. Just gonna do that real quick. That way we have the page sectioned off into quarters. And I'm gonna start out with, let me see here. We have the fixed account already covered, and it is total $3.99. So I don't need to write anything in there because I have that on the last page. Switch colors here, and let's go into the flexible. I have just recently changed this, and this is every single one of these categories is actually in my wallet. I have a cash stuffing wallet, so it has 8 categories in the wallet, and I'm just going to list them right here in the same order that they are in my wallet. So we're going to go groceries, pets, shopping, household, entertainment, restaurants, miscellaneous, and gifts and giving. So those are my flexibles. That is what is in my cash stuffing wallet. Then I do have 2 binders here. I have my future and my fun binder. I'm gonna go into fun. Let me get a different color. Fun. And the fun just has vacation, Christmas, and birthdays. So that's just a fun binder to stuff. That doesn't actually have to go into my budget. I don't put any fixed amounts on those. Those are just if I have extra leftover money each week, I can put into those categories. So the last category I have is future, and future is just stuff that I am gonna owe quite soon in my future. So I start with the gas. Future, let me write gas. And then I do have maintenance. Maintenance is very important in my life. Because we live in an older house, that's part of our rent is maintaining the house. We do need to have a maintenance fund. Luckily, this house has been so awesome to us. We've barely had to do anything to it in the 3 years we've been here, knock on wood. But we also have maintenance for the car, so things like gas and tires and stuff. I want to fund maintenance every week if I can. The other thing I want to fund every week is a buffer. I use a buffer in case I overspend on my credit card. I try to only spend gas on my credit card, but every once in a while I spend other things on the credit cards. I will have a buffer there just in case I need to make up something at the end of the budget, at the end of the month. Something didn't work. I should have a buffer built up at the end of the month of something around $50 is what I hope for. And then if I don't have that spent, I get to move it to something fun or something necessary. Once we reach the end of the month and we do the reconciling, we figure out how much is left over in the buffer. Another thing I want to fund, emergency. Emergency fund, and what the emergency fund is for. I do have the months ahead already, and it is an emergency fund of sorts. Plus I do have a 0 interest credit card on the way in the mail. So I have a little bit of a backup plan, but I want to get a $1,000 emergency fund on top of that. So I'm working on that. Taxes, I actually have not finished my taxes yet this year. I'm still working on that, but that is just to pay for the tax prep, and that is fully funded. I don't need to do anything about that, but that is one of the categories in my binder, so I'm adding it to that. All right, that is everything for me. Yep, that is everything. Okay, so we have made it to this point. We have all our categories. We know what we spend on our fixed each week. We know what we're paid now. So we got our paycheck. What was our paycheck? Let's say our paycheck was $800. $800. Now we do have that $399 we're gonna take out minus $399. We have $401. We're going to use our pencil here in case we make any mistakes, and we're going to go straight into our most important category, which will be gas. Gas takes precedence over everything at my house because gas is the way that I earn more money so that I can pay for everything. So for gas, each week I do need somewhere in between $80 and $150. So this week, I know that I have some already funded in my binder, so I'm safe to not fully fund at 150, and I don't want to fund it all the way down at 80. So I'm going to do like 125. Subtract 125. We'll put 125 right there. And that leaves us with $276 left. Now, I don't just want to move straight down because my next most important category is over here at my groceries. For groceries, we spend a good $150, $175 a week on groceries. I feel like we already have a little bit in groceries, but not much. I think I'm going to fund $175. So minus $175 leaves us with $101. Out of that $101, I have to see what's most important. Next would be pets. I do spend a good $35, $40 on the pets per month. So in a week, I probably need $12 to $15 to be funded for pets. I think I'm going to do 15 this time. So I'm going to do minus 15. Shopping, I'm going to do the same 15. Household, I think I'm going to do a 10. Entertainment. Entertainment's not big on my list of importance, so I'm going to move over to maintenance. And I have $61 remaining, and I think I'm going to do 10 in maintenance. $51 remaining. I'm going to do 15 in the buffer. We have 36. How about if we do 16 in emergency, leaving us $20. Taxes is already funded, so we're going to put 0 there. Entertainment, restaurants, miscellaneous, gifts and giving, vacation, Christmas, and birthdays. Now that's a lot of categories to stuff with only $20. But I don't need to stuff all my categories because I wasn't super funded with $800. I probably won't make it to the fund this time, but that's okay because I have entertainment, I have miscellaneous, I have that buffer. If any of those end up overfunded and I don't use them, I can bump them over into the fund later. With these 4 categories left and that $20 left, I like to just do things evenly, go 5, 5, 5, 5, minus 20. And that makes a $0 budget. And that is my suggested projected budget guideline. It's something to base my budget off of so that I know where I want to be or where I need to be, because my budget is so flexible and so interchangeable and it's just a suggestion. I don't hold myself hard and fast to it and I don't punish myself for not sticking to it. It works out really good for me and I hope it works for you too. I hope this video has helped you guys to work out your budget. Please feel free to comment below on anything that I missed or any way that you do your budget differently. I'm always looking for things that streamline and make things easier. I just changed to my cash wallet system. This used to be a binder and I would cash stuff into the binder and then into my cash wallet. I just actually ousted that binder and moved right into my cash wallet. I just recently readjusted and changed things, but I am loving how my budget is working out right now and I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that it works out well for you guys too and that you guys can work out your budget. It doesn't take much to figure it out. You just have to sit down and track. Tracking is such an important key to figure out what you spent. You can just print out these free off of the internet and all I do is track what I've spent on here. But if you do want to get fancy, they sell things like this. This is something I actually got for Christmas and I should be using it because it's actually perfect. It's got the whole month here. It's got notes for every day, but it's got lines right here and I could be using this and everything would be in here so that I don't have all these loose sheets. I'm just used to what I'm used to doing, so I'm still sticking to it. I might eventually move into this, but you guys can do it however you want to do it, however you can track. Maybe you do it on your phone. Just If you can get a couple of weeks worth of tracking, then you can get a good idea of what you actually spend on a monthly basis. It will really help you to formulate your budget. Even when you don't know exactly how much you make on a monthly basis, it really helps when you know how much you spend. I hope that's helped you. Thank you guys for being here. I will be back again soon, and I hope you are too. Bye-bye now.